Here's a powerful quote from the book Your Brain on Porn by Gary Wilson. Porn turns a man into a scared boy. I was socially awkward, depressed, had no motivation, I couldn't focus, I was insecure, I had weak muscle tone and a weak voice, and I had absolutely no control over my life. Men are going to doctors to get all kinds of meds when really it comes down to porn and what it does to your brain and body. I'm off porn now and feel better than I felt in years. 9 months ago, I was a 25-year-old university dropout working a job I hated and depressed. After quitting porn, I did a lot of things for the first time, including kissing a girl I just met and being invited to another girl's apartment. I don't think I have depression anymore. There's still ups and downs, but nothing like before, with no energy for anything and suicidal thoughts. Some people think that porn is a harmless habit because they just don't realize how many problems are connected to porn use. It's widely reported that we have a rise in anxiety and depression and mental health problems, especially in young people. And of course, people are also watching more porn than ever before. And the assumption is usually that these are two completely separate issues. And we've also been told that mental health issues like anxiety and depression and others are a matter of, some chemical imbalance in the brain, and the solution is to take the right kind of medications to restore that chemical balance. But I have to tell you, after reading books like Cured by Jeffrey Rediger, Brain Energy by Christopher Palmer, and The Myth of Normal by Gabor Mate, I have real doubts about this narrative. Medications for mental health issues are notoriously ineffective and often come with a long list of side effects that are very undesirable. Now look, I'm not a medical professional, and I'm not saying you should get off your prescribed medication or you shouldn't take medication if you're prescribed it, right? Obviously, leave that to the professionals. But what I would say is that if you suffer from anxiety and depression and other mental health issues, and you also have a habit of watching porn, quit porn first. Understand that these medications, yes, sometimes they help, but they can also do some serious damage. They can also come with their own whole bag of suffering that comes with it. So before you do something like that, if there's a chance that some of your or all of your suffering and mental conditions are actually just a downstream result of watching too much porn and screwing up your brain's dopamine system, then that would really be worth finding out, wouldn't it? Just to see if that isn't, the root of your problem after all. You wouldn't be the first to discover that once you quit this, and especially if you quit it the right way, I have a lot of content about what that means. If you quit this the right way, it turns a lot of stuff in your life around pretty dramatically. And of course, I'm not saying that all of these depressed people are really just porn addicts or anything like that, right? It's never as simple as that. But again, it's just kind of worth finding out. And also, let's acknowledge that there's a two-way causation here. This doesn't just go one way. Because if you're anxious and depressed, you feel bad, you're more likely to look for something to numb that pain. And that often leads people to substance abuse. And porn is really kind of substance abuse as well, right? It's one version of that thing. It makes you feel better temporarily, but then it makes you feel worse in the long term. And then because you feel worse, you want more of the thing that made you feel good for a short moment. And this is how it becomes a vicious cycle. You use more because you feel bad, and then you feel worse because you used more. So obviously, this is a complicated and perhaps controversial issue. But there is a simple and safe recommendation that we can make based on the idea that was triggered by that quote I read in the beginning, which is this. If you are someone who relates to what was described in that quote, right? You feel like your life is out of control, everything's a mess, you feel kind of weak, low energy, brain fog, low power. If you can see yourself in some of that, then quit porn for 30 days and see what happens. If you're not addicted to porn, then quitting for 30 days is going to be no problem, right? It's no problem to not do something for 30 days if it's not an addiction. But if you find that you do struggle to quit, if you experience withdrawal symptoms, well, then that means you were actually addicted and quitting is probably a great idea. It's really a win-win situation. The worst case scenario is that you quit porn, nothing happens, nothing changes, you don't struggle with it at all. And it turns out, yeah, that wasn't the source of your problems. And you've done nothing other than save yourself some time for a month. The best case scenario is that you find that once you quit, it kicks off a healing process in your brain, and you might feel like a completely changed person within just a few months.
Damn good deal.
If you want help to quit porn and deal with the urges and get through the process, make sure you subscribe to QuitByHealing and also check the first link in the description.